G'day, Glenn Morris here from the Smart Energy Lab. I'm here today at SNEC with Thomas Bywater from AIKO. G'day, Thomas.
Yeah, g'day Glenn. How are you going?
Good. So apparently this is the hero product. Do you want to tell me a bit about it?
Yeah, so in Australia we've tended to focus on the smaller panels because residential is such an important part of our market, but more and more installers are doing the commercial projects, as you know. This is one of our 72 cell ranges. It is the Comet series, but it is the third generation. Now, if you look at the efficiency there, what you're going to see is a module efficiency of 25%. So that's epic. So if we look across the market at the moment, we've got mostly products in the 22 to 23% efficiency. Of course, AIKO's second generation product is 24. This is the hero product for next year, a product that kicks the bucket of 25% efficiency. So we're immensely proud of that. So you'll see the dimensions of that are a 2.3 metre panel. There's also that standard 2278 available as well. So we think that's going to open the door to do commercial projects you haven't been able to do thus far. It's going to help you to fit more onto those roofs that are just that little bit smaller for the 99 kilowatt that you're trying to do.
Wow, so they not only look good, they're very impact resistant and super efficient.
Yeah, so the other thing, of course, is the safety of them. So with the shade management, what we actually see is even when there is shade, let's say there was bird droppings or let's say there was some other soiling on the module, the maximum the temperature of the module will be about 100 degrees. Whereas if you get, let's say, a TopCon or a PERC panel, you put some shading on some of those cells, you'll see those cells hit temperatures above 120 degrees. So the cell's operating cooler, and it's already cooler because it's more efficient. So less of that energy becomes heat anyway, because we're converting more of it into electricity.
Well, thanks, Thomas. I think we should go somewhere quieter and learn a bit more about some of that amazing no-gap technology.
Sure.
Cool. Let's go.
Yeah, so here at the show we've got something interesting, which is that there are demonstrations of the products, which we don't see that so much in Australia. So two of the demonstrations we've got here are the pressure test and the impact test. So one of the strengths of back contact cells is that they are more mechanically resilient to stress when compared to, say, the older polysilicon panels or the PERC or TopCon that we see here. So we've got the TopCon cells on stand and we have the back contact, and we're going to subject them to an impact test. So that's a 2 kilogram weight traveling at 1 meter per second. And we're going to do that same stress to both the cell types, and we'll see how they respond differently. Yes, so that's our first one there, and that is the TopCon cell. And now we're going to test the back contact cell. And what you're going to notice immediately is that stresses on the cell damage the whole cell almost completely beyond usability. Now, obviously, we don't have such a weight in the real world, but this is to simulate the effects of material stress. So now we're going to take the back contact cell. You can immediately see the back contact cell has that uniform appearance on the front. So that's how we can tell that this is a back contact, because there's no metal at all on the front side of the cell. So we're going to subject that to the same test. So just to recap, that's a 2 kilogram weight at 1 meter per second. Exactly the same test. And what you'll immediately witness is the output of the cell is maintained, and that the cell damage is far less than equivalent TopCon or PERC cell. So the cell's going to be automatically entered into the chamber.
Well, we've moved somewhere a bit quieter. Well, not much, but we're upstairs at the AIKO booth, and Thomas is going to explain a bit more about what you just saw in terms of the advanced features that AIKO have developed for their solar cells. Over to you.
Yeah, thanks very much, Glenn. So your Smart Energy Lab are some of the first to see this technology. So we've announced that here in SNEC across last night and today. So the key thing that we're seeing with that new panel is the gapless technology with the cells. So what that does is let us take the high efficiency cell and fit more cells on the same amount of glass, if you like, and that increases the module efficiency. So you would have seen that module efficiency was at 25%. So the other thing is that on the rear side, we've changed the metallization. So what that means is we're letting more light come in the back of the panel, and that light is what is going to deliver us the bifaciality. in the solar industry, there's been a bit of a myth that back contact cannot deliver good bifaciality. It's actually not true. So we're up above 70% with this new technology. So whereas it was thought that that theoretical maximum might be around that 50, 60%, we've gone beyond that. And we're seeing that on front side, right? When you and I were young strapping fellows, Glenn, we were talking about theoretical maximum efficiencies of 24%. We're now very confident that back contact can get us up to near to 29% over the near term. And that will give us that bridge to perhaps perovskite in 5 or 6 years' time. So definitely back contact is the future of the next 2 to 3 years in solar industry.
What about back contact where there is no reflected light?
Oh, okay. So thinking about the bifaciality, well, obviously if there's no reflected light, it doesn't matter. But the concern some people have is, okay, I've got a bifacial panel. I'm putting it on a roof where there's no light. Is it going to suffer? No, it doesn't. So it's not required that you have a light source on the rear of the panel if it's a bifacial panel with this technology. And that also comes down to the back contact and how it works. So we talked before about shade management, where the cell kind of acts like a diode. So it has a property called semiconductor breakdown. Essentially, each individual cell, when it's shaded, it can bypass itself. So through those technologies, basically, if there is uneven shading for whatever reason on the panel, you're going to see no downturn in the performance.
So, Thomas, I think you've just broken one of the myths that I believed in, that is that if you had a bifacial panel, you had to have some illumination of the rear, otherwise you're worse off.
Yeah, that can happen with some of those early perk panels where you had that uneven shading coming from perhaps the railing. So even though you, in theory, have no light behind the panel on a roof, you in fact do have some reflected from the roof material, and then you have a contrast between where the rails are and where they're not. But with this technology, it's not dependent on that at all. So we have absolutely no fear in doing bifacial panels, and you'll see a lot of bifacial panels coming into the residential sector next year.
Right, so no problem installing on a conventional roof parallel to the roof.
100%. And then you still got that extra output if you do it on a farm system, like a ground mount or perhaps a car park.
Right. So one panel to rule them all.
One panel to rule them all. We like to say ABC, Australia's best cells. I believe it's meant to be AIKO back contact, but let's call it Australia's best cells.
Great. Well, thanks very much, Thomas.
Thank you, Glenn.
Cool. See if we can do a handshake. Hang on.
All right.